Welcome. In this video, we are going to set up and configure Visual Studio Code in order to work efficiently and without distractions. We're going to move away from the default setup, go through a basic setup of our own, install and activate some really cool themes, and get to know VS Code a little bit better. So by default, when we launch VS Code, we get this welcome screen, which can come in handy in some occasions, but after a while it starts to feel a little bit distracting. We really want to start from a blank page or just load our projects. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disable this welcome screen, and for that I'm going to go to the preferences and settings page of VS Code, and I'm going to search for startup editor. Have a typo here. Now we here the setting Workbench startup editor controls which editor is shown at startup. So in this selection I'm going to click on none, and then I'm going to close the settings, and then I'm going to close this page and create a new file. Now every time I open a new file, I won't be seeing the welcome screen again. So let's go to the next step. Now, one of the things that's a little bit distracting is when you open a file. So I'm going to open a new file, and I'm going to save this file. Let's say VSCode HTML. And let's say I start working on some HTML file. Whenever I want to toggle this sidebar, you will see that the code goes back and forth. And this is actually pretty annoying if you toggle this side panel a lot. So for this, in order to avoid this distracting back and forth, I'm going to move the side panel, the sidebar, to the right. So I'm going to right click here and select move sidebar right. So now when I open and close the sidebar, I don't get this annoying movement of the actual code. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disable the minimap here, which is sort of a minimized version, a minimized screen of the code. When you get some really long code, this might be helpful, but for me, most of the times I think it's space that it's not really needed this way, and I really want to give as much space as possible to the code. So in order to disable this minimap and have more space for our code, we're going to go to View, and we're going to uncheck Show Minimap. So we have more space now. The next thing I'm going to do, let's add some JavaScript here. I'm going to add a syntax highlighting theme, a new theme for VS Code, in order to get a better syntax highlighting for all the languages that are available in VS Code. I'm using JavaScript here just to show I'm just going to write some more examples so that we can see. So we have this default theme, but I'm going to go to the extensions panel, and I'm going to search for Ayu Mirage PowerUp, which is an amazing theme. I'm going to click on Ayu Mirage PowerUp and install. I'm going to select it as our default color theme, and then I'm going to close. And as you can see, I have a much better, nicer theme applied here. Another thing I would like to do is hide this sidebar, which is of course taking space from my code. Now for this to be available, I will create a shortcut so that I can quickly toggle this side panel on and off. So for this to happen, I have to go again to Preferences and Keyboard Settings, and I'm going to search for Toggle Activity Bar Visibility. So this is the activity bar, and we want to set a shortcode in order to toggle the visibility. And I'm going to click here on Click Binding, and I'm going to press Ctrl, Shift and A. That's my favorite shortcut. Now it says that an existing command has this binding, so I'm going to check. I see that this cursor line Start Select already is using this shortcut. If I really want this shortcut, I can select a different one for my visibility bar, but in this case I'm going to edit this shortcut. I'm going to double click and remove, since I don't want this key binding, I'm not using it. And then I'm going to switch back to Toggle Activity Bar Visibility, and now I can use the key binding I tried before. So Ctrl Shift A, and I press Enter. Now I close the keyboard shortcuts panel, and whenever I want to toggle, hide or show the side panel, I will just press Ctrl Shift A, and in this way I get as much code as possible, as much space as I can for my code. I can even hide these numbers, but I think this is one of the most useful features of the code editors, so I'm going to leave this on. And now in order to get even more space out of our editor environment, we can switch to the Zen mode. So we can go to View and in Appearance, and then we can click on Zen mode, or we can use the shortcut that is available there. For Mac is Command K and Z. So when I hit Zen mode, you can see that all the space is now available for the code editor, and I can continue writing my code using as much space available as possible. And of course I can switch back to the default mode using the shortcut, which for Mac is Command K and Z. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can try the theme and you can try the settings and configure VS Code according to your needs and the way you feel like it's more comfortable and friendly for you. So thank you.